Pokemon Masters, my name is Birdkeeper Toby and welcome back to my channel and another one of those top 10 looking at my favourite Pokemon of every region and oh no, we're on Kalos. Okay, look, I don't like being negative, that's what the bottom 10 of each region are for, but the Kalos region, it's got its charms, it's got things to like about it, but when it comes to that Pokedex of only like 72 Pokemon or something like that, 75 Pokemon, it's hard to pick a top 10, especially because this is the region where I like the least amount of the designs, I don't have as many good stories, they only released X and Y, which I've played through like twice, 3 times, and obviously, so many of the Pokemon in those Pokedexes are not even from Kalos, so even when I want to play with different variations of different teams, you know, it's difficult to get around all of the Kalos Pokemon, and even when it comes to the starting Pokemon, this is not my favourite generation for them at all. So I kind of want to amend this title a little bit of my top 10 favourite Kalos Pokemon for the sake of the series, but in practice, this is the top 10 Pokemon of Kalos that I don't totally hate. I'm sorry, Kalos region, I hope I can fall more in love with you in the future. And I know I did a top 10 Kalos Pokemon before, but nowadays, given where we are, I mean, back when I made that video, we thought Pokemon Z was the next thing out, so I had a lot more hope for Kalos, and I was feeling, it was very fresh in my mind. Now the years have gone on, and I've turned cynical. So I'm gonna do my best, and honestly, the top 3 of these are 3 Pokemon that I actually love. But we're gonna start at the top end of the list with the top 10 Pokemon that I don't totally hate from Kalos, and of course, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this in the comments below, and your top 10 list, maybe Pokemon I should try out. Let's start with Tyrunt. I think Tyrunt and Tyrantrum were actually really high up on my list back when I first did this. Tyrantrum was part of my first Pokemon X team, and I gotta admit, I used to think it looked really, really cool, but now I just kind of think, with the beard, there's something off about the shape of it, something that just doesn't look as cool as I think a king of the T-Rexes should. Well, Rex means king, so King, Rex, T-Rex, Rex, T... Toby can't do words. Tyrunt, on the other hand, I still think its design holds up after all of this time. I like looking at the Kensagomori art. I even like looking at the 3D model. I love that kind of big head with the big focus on the accentuated jaw. It's just very exaggerated, and this Pokemon manages to be both cute, mysterious because it's a fossil, and also kind of cool as well. It kind of ticks a lot of boxes, and Tyrunt, you're not all that bad. Also, Tyrunt is just a really smart, clever name. Number 9, I mentioned it just now, Greninja, sort of by default, because I look at Delphox and Chestnut and I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in any of the Pokemon in any of these evolutionary lines. Fennekin originally kind of had my heart. I was like, oh yeah, Fennekin, if I could start with any Kalos Pokemon, that would be the one. Then the evolutions got announced and I was immediately like, no, I'm jumping ship and going for Froakie. Chespin has never particularly interested me and I've used it in a playthrough. I just don't like the design and I've not really got that many memories with it. Greninja, at least I have memories of my first journey in Kalos, and I have memories of hatching a shiny. I was literally sitting on a bus going, I'm hatching Froakie eggs, I feel like I'm probably due a shiny now. And as I thought it, the egg hatched and I got the shiny. So, you know, I gotta love it for that. But last year when I started playing Pokemon X and Y again, I was like, I'm gonna give it another go. I sat there and I wanted to pick a starter Pokemon and I thought, I don't want to go for Froakie again because I've already used it and I'm not that impressed by the design of Greninja or Frogadier. And then I looked at the others and I just thought, I don't want any of these. And I ended up just putting the game down. Sorry, Kalos starters. Greninja at least has a cool ability though, which is Protean, which is so broken and awesome. For those of you who don't know what that is, it basically means if Greninja uses Ice Beam, it becomes an Ice type. If it uses Dark Pulse, it becomes pure Dark type. It's awesome. Number 8, Talonflame. I have fun memories of Talonflame the Egg Hatcher because it knew Fly and it had Flame Body, which essentially meant when I was hatching eggs in the Kalos games, it was the perfect Pokemon to have at the front of the team because it would speed up the eggs hatching and also you could fly from the daycare to Lumio City where I would just like cycle around Lumio's tower in a circle hatching the eggs. And that's it for Talonflame. I don't totally hate it. Also, I'm a bird keeper, right? Number 7, Dedenne. Dedenne is a Pokemon that's actually really grown on me this year, particularly because of its appearance in the Pokemon TCG as a must-have card in so many decks. The ability to put it on your bench and just discard your hand and draw a new hand is really powerful in the Pokemon trading card game. Also, it looks cute. I think I always had an aversion to it before because I was never really interested in the Pokemon animated series at the time that X and Y started, and I always saw Bonnie as kind of an annoying sidekick and Clemont as well. So with them being highly associated with Dedenne, I was never fully invested in it as a Pokemon, but in recent years, I've really come to love it. So Dedenne, you're pretty cool as well. Number 6, I don't really have much to add here other than Noivern is pretty cool. I didn't really use it in Pokemon X and Y so much as I did in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, getting a Noibat in one of the, I guess it was the Verdant Cavern, is it? Right back at the beginning of the game, and having a Noibat, which was admittedly very, very weak, but by the time it was a Noivern, it was an ace of my team. So yeah, I mean, you can't deny that Noivern is just a well-designed Pokemon. I'm pretty sure most people in the comments will agree with me on that. And number 5, for very similar reasons, as well as it having a very cool shiny, Phantump. It's got that Pokédex entry about being a lost child in the woods, and I think that idea of a child going missing in the woods like any other Pokemon trainer and then becoming a Phantump is really creepy, really cool, and Trevenant as an evolution looks awesome. I'm gonna throw this Pokemon some love, but again, I can't really talk about it as much because I don't have that many memories with this Pokemon yet. I would hope that in the future I'll get the chance to use a Phantump on an adventure team. Although the fact that it's a trade evolution is always a little bit annoying if you're someone who just likes to play solitarily, you know, and you've then got to get out the second 3DS and trade it with yourself, but that's just me. Number 4, and this is the Pokemon that I don't totally hate, but also kind of hate the most in Pokemon X and Y, Xerneas. Its regular form is gorgeous. It's one of the coolest things. This box art sold it to me. It was probably my favorite Pokemon on the piece of Pokemon box art. Look at the madness of the design of this majestic Pokemon with its gems, and it's the personification of fairy Pokemon. So why when I catch it in the game and I look at it in my party, does it look like this? What is this? Yveltal doesn't have this. What? Is this neutral mode? I don't care about this. What? Show me this in a flashback or a cutscene. I don't want this in my party. I wanted to catch this gorgeous, majestic being of the forest. It's probably in a forest. It was in the movie. I don't know. I was mad about it then. I'm still mad now. Xerneas had so much potential to be my favorite Pokemon of this generation, and I've always been annoyed about this weird alternate form that I just don't think looks good. So yeah, I don't know if any of you can agree with me on that, or any of those at all. That said, I will now jump into my top 3, because my top 3 are really, they are Pokemon that I do like of this generation. They're Pokemon I love. I guess starting off with number 1, Zygarde. And Zygarde, you got wrong. Where was the Pokemon Z game? Zygarde deserved it. It was very cool, and it tied together a lot of elements of like Pokemon alchemy and that kind of thing that Lockstin covered a million times over. And its ultimate form, the perfect form of Zygarde, with the crystals inside it, it's got the white crystal representing everything. The X and Y crystal, the Sun and Moon crystal, it's got the weird 10% dog form, it's got its own cool Z move. I think Zygarde is incredible. I just think it kind of got wronged by Pokemon as a whole. However, the way it waits for you in Terminus Cave, that is an ominous name. It is this absolutely fantastic green color, and I love it as a ground dragon Pokemon. I just think it really works and belongs with that family of Garchomp and Flygon. Yep, Zygarde is cool, and I really wish I got to see more of it. I really, really do. I guess like all of these Kalos Pokemon, I wish I got to see more. Number 2 is Hawlucha, a Pokemon that's design is, I think, a little bit controversial. You'll either love it or you'll hate it. I also think its shiny is really, really striking. I think it's a cool looking Pokemon, but particularly I like it because I got to start using it as a competitive Pokemon. On most competitive teams I've had since Generation 6, not that I play competitive a lot, I love Hawlucha. It's got this Unburden ability, which means when it uses the item that it's holding, it's speed or attack doubles or like dramatically increases. It's holding this item called the Power Herb or Red Herb, which means 2-turn moves like Solar Beam, for example. These are moves that would usually take 2 turns to happen. They now only happen in 1. So you use that with Sky Attack. Sky Attack is an incredibly powerful flying type move. You give it to Hawlucha, it uses the Red Herb, then its speed and attack is like super increased. And then it can use the attack Acrobatics that does even more damage if it's not holding an item or moves faster. Again, I can't quite remember what it is. But what I do know is it turns Hawlucha into a bit of a glass cannon. This is to say that it's really, really powerful, really, really fast, but also very, very frail and totally easily killable. Although now, with Dynamaxing, you then Dynamax the Hawlucha and it uses the move Max Knuckle and it gets even more attack boost. This thing can sweep. And number 1, I think uncontroversially, maybe, I don't know, it probably is, the best Kalos Pokemon by far, you cannot deny it, Goomy and Sliggoo. And Goodra as well. Goodra is great, but Goomy and Sliggoo particularly. These Pokemon designs are creative. A dragon, slime, snail, I love everything about it. I can't gush enough how if Generation 6 disappeared tomorrow and I could keep one thing, it would be Goomy. I think this Pokemon is a super creative design. I love that it's like the first pseudo-legendary that Ash had on his team fully evolved. That is definitely a Pokemon he should have kept hold of. I just think I love everything about it. And Gumi, you're really, really cool. And there you have it. That's my Kalos list. I know this video was a little bit different for a top 10. It was almost a little bit more like a bottom 10, but thank you for watching. Maybe you could recommend some Kalos Pokemon for me to try. Maybe recommend some Pokemon for me to try while playing Sword and Shield, because again, I didn't really play Sun and Moon too much, which means these Pokemon have not had a lot of opportunities to shine for me. And look, I am sorry, I know so many of you love Sylveon. I don't totally hate Sylveon. It's probably on the outskirts of this list. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and with all of that being said, you're amazing. Still so mad about Xerneas though. So hi, Pokemon Masters.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeeper Toby. That makes you a Pokemon Master.
Thank you so much to those of you supporting the channel using Patreon, including the big patron of this month, Gunnar Clovis. Thank you.